Jesus.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legendary trio plus one. Tripod, defender of Fitzroy.
Ooh, it's Tripod. Ooh, they're gonna get ya, yeah.
A mighty group, loved by good and feared by evil.
You know that
As Tripod's legend grew, they developed Perfectly Good Podcast, and the galaxy knew peace once more. But over time, their enemies grew jealous, and Perfectly Good Podcast was under threat. So Tripod was called upon once more. To create this legendary group, Scott forms the legs, Gatesy makes the torso, Yon adds an arm, and as the head of the organization, Pogo forms some teeth. Together, they become Tripod and Perfectly Good Podcast.
PGP, 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 oh yeah! PGP, 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 oh yeah!
Is that it? Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Good Podcast.
So you are part-time at the MSA these days, Pogo?
Hey, this is my intro. Stop talking. Let's do it. Yes, it's Season 5, Episode 7 of Perfectly Good Podcast. I'm Andrew Pogson, and I am joined by the members of Tripod. How are you?
So
Every
normally
week.
normally when someone just flat out joins a band, like there's some sort of voting process or approval or just even a conversation.
That was my application. Gatesy, am I in?
He's been playing the 5-year long game, Scott.
Yeah, okay.
And every week, just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
I think though this week, knowing what I know,
Yeah.
he's taken it's a bigger chunk this
It's
week.
definitely a watershed week for sure.
It's time for a meeting, boys. It really is.
Johnny,
How do I do well, thanks. I think that sting was like your equivalent of all these people in lockdown, like learning macrame and.
I do have a question for you though, Pogo. Whether or not you deliberately or accidentally, let's call it a shout out to the Acquisitions Incorporated theme song.
No, well, it's not. What I did get the idea of is that from a very, very long time ago,
Yeah.
I think Chris Straub
Yeah.
did a I guess a sort of an 80s TV cartoon intro.
That's the one.
My
Yeah,
dream
that's the
come
one.
true.
That's the one.
My
But he
dream.
also uses that one gag and some teeth.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, yeah, he literally does.
Oh,
You take
great.
a teeth gag.
We have a plagiarist in our band, boys. That's the first item at the meeting.
I seriously.
What to do?
Nose or teeth? I couldn't work out what would be more ridiculous.
Yeah, he went with teeth.
I was pretty put out that I was an arm. I wasn't even two arms.
The
Happy with torso. Happy with torso.
the,
What? Who's the other arm?
Doesn't matter.
The Chris Straub's teeth obsession actually goes a bit further because they put out a custom Dungeons DM screen which has got all the rules on the inside, and the one they put out was just ridiculous rules, like different, like for example, in the normal one you'd have a list of different conditions, right? So paralyzed means this, prone means this, charmed means this, and he's got a whole list of really stupid ones, and one of them is transformed into teeth, and the blurb is, the explanation is, that's your life, your teeth now.
Your teeth.
Your teeth now, that's your life. What can I tell you?
So I got to say that this particular week, as you can tell, I'm not working full time.
Yeah.
at my job at the moment, due to shutdown restrictions and so on. So I had a little more time to do stuff, and I've been discovering the world of synthesizers.
Oh yeah, obviously. It would,
Really, mate. Really fun, isn't it?
Yeah, like this. I was going to show you a couple of little cool things because I'm loving it here. So here's one of the arpeggiators I was using on there.
Yeah, that's good.
Got here. Anyway,
awesome.
Feeling the love, feeling the love. Just imagine you doing some real pop music with that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the world's ready for Top Gun 2.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to be involved in that process, do we? You can. It's more of a solo album idea, isn't it, Andrew?
Well, you know what? I need some legendary Stephen Gates backing vocals. Get some of that high stuff up there. Because mine's all bullshit. I'm all doing falsetto, whereas you can really scream up there.
Don't.
Your
ruin
voice
it.
your voice is sounding amazing. I mean, the technology must be.
It's amazing what they can do these days.
Yeah. Speaking of body parts, would you like a one-off segment I like to call Armpit Update?
Yes.
Oh, Armpit up.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
this is the story.
I don't want to hear it until there's a sting.
Yeah, there
oh,
needs
maybe
to
no.
be
We
a
do the
sting.
sting after you do it because we need to sort of know what it is.
Sure. Well, I just want to get your feelings on this. I about 4 weeks ago ran out of underarm deodorant, and it has been my problem to get another roll-on. I basically just use an unscented aluminium roll-on, right? Just to block the pores, block them so you don't smell anything. Anyway, because I haven't bought myself a roll-on. I've been smelling, but over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, no BO is happening. What is that about?
Is it because you've got used to it? And you
Mate, no, I don't know. I cannot stand the smell of aftershave or perfume, and I just don't like smelling anything.
Can I ask, is there a third party who's giving you an objective read on this?
Maybe not. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's, yeah. I have spent a lot of time on my own like this week. Yeah.
I've stopped smelling to myself.
Yeah. Maybe that is. Oh no. That's even worse. So maybe I do reek and I just can't.
We do acclimatise to smell very, very readily. Remember
Yeah.
the first time your mum takes you to like Victoria Market or like places like the deli? I remember the deli I used to just find horrid, and
Really?
you get used to it, and then you don't smell it after a while.
I find that whole smell thing fascinating. Like when it comes to like when you say delis and stuff. Like I remember walking into this cheese shop, and it was a really hardcore proper cheese shop in Europe where they don't, that they're allowed to not pasteurize the milk or something.
Right.
So so it's allowed to be just filthy. Like I don't mean the shop was filthy, but they're allowed to let the cheese go as disgusting as it wants.
Yeah.
And let all the bacteria do exactly what it wants to do. And there's I don't even know if there might be some French word for it, but like there's this thing about like if you imagine like the most delicious thing in the world and then you imagine the most disgusting thing in the world, they're not polar opposites. They're like a circle, like one, like just say the most delicious thing is at 1 o'clock and the most disgusting thing is at 11 o'clock. And there's this
There's all this bland stuff down the bottom there.
yeah, but what
it's
I'm
an
saying
easy
is like
place
there's
to
a
be.
fine line between ultimately putrid,
Yeah.
disgusting,
Yeah. Okay.
fetid rubbish and the most delicious thing you've ever tasted.
On this topic, though, wasn't it? I mean, this is years ago you said
Yeah.
this, but were you not okay with farting at the dinner table because of the smell ratio?
No one
That's-
notices. No one
So
notices.
can you explain? Yeah, can you explain
I have
that
never.
to the?
So I'm a bad farter. I know people don't want to hear about this, but it's important to the story.
Well, it is armpit
And-
update. So
It is. You're right.
it's,
You're right.
that's the segment.
Place for it. You're right.
So I'm constantly being called out for stinking up the joint, but at a dinner table, as long as there's a bit of noise going on, obviously you need a bit of noise cover. Off you go, and no one has ever said anything.
Of course they haven't, because they're more polite than you are.
That's not why.
They're thinking, I couldn't possibly be smelling a fart at the dinner table. Possibly.
This is ridiculous.
This is the height of rudeness.
Oh dear.
No one could be this bad.
No one could be this bad. Yeah, anyway, that was Armpit Update.
All right.
I don't know how I feel about Armpit Update. I feel if we make a bump for it, we're going to have to hear about it again next.
Well, I like the fact that it's a one-off.
Oh, really?
That it's called Armpit Update. So that's it.
Hopefully it's the last time Armpit Update. What about
Perfect. Lovely. Lovely. Log that in, Pogo.
It's good. It's very open-ended.
Yep.
It does allow for a season 2. Yeah, right. Okay, so of course, before we get into the episode proper, we have the usual list of people to thank. And firstly, we must thank the good people of Patreon, our Patreon supporters. They have been growing in number, and I must admit there have been many people who have upped their pledge during a time of crisis. More.
That's amazing.
So thank you to all of those
Thank you.
Patreons. We love you all.
I mean, we have put on a disproportionate amount of extra work for ourselves for the podcast now. So
Yeah, but that's on
Not
us.
Not only have you earned that,
so
now they still owe you.
yeah, that's what
That's what he's saying.
yeah.
You outpaced their
Yeah, like relative to what the amount of work prep we were putting in before, like we've probably upped our output about 1,000%.
yeah.
I'd say it's about that. Well,
Yeah.
what's any multiple of 0, right?
For the first 5 years, that's the difference. I feel like it's less for me because Gatesy's been doing a lot of the mixing.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm having a holiday. You guys are now having to catch up 5 years of work.
I like how Gatesy's how Pogo's just gradually switching his role from administrative and technical to purely creative.
It's how it works.
It's incredible. Incredible.
And secondly, of course, we must thank the City of Melbourne for their support of the podcast during their COVID-19 emergency grants. So thank you to the City of Melbourne. And of course, if you are listening to this and you're loving this season, I'm loving this season, please tell some friends, get the word out there. I'd love to see them numbers start peaking, start sparking, because content is long. Good.
Let's
Unflatten
not
the
flatten the
curve.
curve. Yeah, that's it. Too much. And thanks for those people who watched the online gig last Friday at
yes.
Geelong Arts Centre, or GAC.
That was fun. It felt like the return of the days of variety television.
It was,
It,
yeah.
you know, it feels like a lot of that.
How it worked, because the gigs at this time are not really that normal. How did the gig work?
Well, they had set up in the main hall of the theatre. I mean, they've just, they're not alone in having to like pivot real quick and sort of reinvent themselves. So a lot of their gigs that they had planned as live, outings, got pivoted to just like a broadcast. So they had 2 or 3 cameras on stage with us. It was all lit really lovely. We were essentially playing in an empty theatre, so that was a familiar feeling.
Yeah,
And
that would have been fine.
yeah, and and it was lovely. And it went out to their.
So no laughs. How did you go with no laughs?
Well, they had crew. The crew were very open in laughing, so that was
They
good.
were great.
Yeah.
The
that
chat.
helped.
Did you say we had a little chat
Oh, yeah, we
feed
did too,
going the
yeah.
whole time, and so we would occasionally see comments come up on the screen, as moderated by the stage manager, and that weirdly that makes a huge difference. Perhaps not weirdly, but it did really feel like there were people we were doing it
Around,
for.
yeah, out there, yeah, for sure. It was lovely. I'm also
Apparently-
talking about internet broadcasts. There was also the MSO Kids Marathon last Saturday, and thanks.
Oh, how
everyone
was that?
it was ace fun. It was quite a lot like finally getting to live out my fantasy of hosting Play School.
Okay.
I had a lot of that about it. Obviously, we're on with Ben Northey, amazing, and Thea Rossen, who's also amazing. But anyway, the point is, they're doing it again. They're broadcasting it tomorrow morning. So if you missed it last week, especially if you have a little kid, then it's from 10 through 1, I think it runs.
And how do you get it?
Well, you can get it on YouTube, or the best place to go will be the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra Facebook page, and they'll be broadcasting it live on there.
Yeah.
Streaming it.
I wasn't involved in this at all, not for even 1 millisecond. So I feel like I'm got to slightly remove my biases here. But if you've got young kids, and I don't know what the age would max out at, let's say primary school age, certainly younger kids would benefit greatly. Then it's a great thing to do with your kids for an hour or two. There's all sorts of activities, different sections. You've got Scott being an idiot on there. Actually, the trio of you, the three of you, the presenters, it's a great little energy there.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, obviously, we go back a long way with Ben and Thea. We've met once or twice, and she's really fantastic at her job, which is specifically kids education. So she was probably the one out of the three of us who was like most at home. It was really fun.
Yeah. Anyway.
Awesome.
All right.
So guys, I just always want to get straight into the songs, but we have to. We can't front load these episodes. Got to backload them.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the shit out of the way at the front end. And I feel like every single episode we get a little bit of an update of either what people are listening to or watching. Does anyone have any?
Got a flick licker? I've got a flick licker.
Oh, you got a flick licker?
I did, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to press it.
Scott.
Scott. Flick licker.
Scott, welcome to Scott's Flick Licker.
Hi, Andrew. It's great to be here. How have you been?
I've been well.
That's-
Been watching any good flicks that you've looked?
Well, I've got a special guest this week, Andrew, and I'd like him to tell you all about everything he's been doing in the world of flick licking. Stephen.
Thank you, Scott, for having me on your program.
You're very welcome.
How have you been?
I've been well, thanks. Andrew, how have you been?
I've also been well.
Good, Andrew. And what about you, Stephen? How have you been?
I've been great. What about you, Scott?
Well, thanks, mate. How have you been?
Good, mate. How have you
Good.
been?
Getting better.
So, Netflix, if you are into, if you want to see a good old-fashioned, well-made, modern horror movie, a Spanish movie by the name of Veronica is streaming on Netflix. It's bloody great.
Writing that down. I'm writing it down. Look at it, Veronica.
If you want to escape from the actual horrors of day-to-day life with a good old-fashioned, remember when good old possessions and stuff were those days. Yeah, but no, it's beautifully made, and soundtrack is amazing, and some of the greatest acting from children ever. So
Amazing.
yeah, worth it. That's a recommendation.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Well, no, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Didn't take long getting here through traffic, but it was good.
Make sure you come back, won't you?
Oh, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You're welcome anytime. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you, Scott, for Scott and Scott's Flick Licker. Now, Simon Hall, we've been playing. Maybe it counts as this? Does it count as this?
$20 gamer.
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna play. $20 gamer.
So welcome to Andrew Pogson Presents Simon Hall's co-hosting Stephen Gates, Gamer. Stephen Gates.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Thanks for having us on your program, Stephen. And you're welcome for that we're letting you be on your own program also.
Thank you. I'm uncertain if this comes under the Scott umbrella of segments and shows.
God group
Is this
of
under
companies.
Scott Industries?
I think we had trouble hammering out a deal with Gatesy's segments. Or
Scott,
I can't quite
Scott
remember how it
wasn't
all went
able.
down.
You weren't ultimately able to deliver on the sort of showbiz perks.
Yeah.
That,
Well, I mean,
that I had to offer.
We've all had challenges put out in front of us, of course.
Now, I did want to talk about a game. I think it probably is $20 these days. It's in fact it was free as part of the PlayStation Plus free game, and that is Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right.
And it's had a million updates, and it sucked when it first came out, and that's when I bought it like a fool, and then I sort of abandoned it fairly quickly. And then I'd read all these reviews that they'd spent the last year and a half or something fixing it up. And Yoni and I have jumped on the Battlefront, and we had a good time.
Great.
It is good. You can. I think the child me would be just exploding with joy to know that you can be neen numb in a game.
Really?
That's awesome.
I love this whole thing, and the Mandalorian TV show are doing this thing too, and the makers of it, say this explicitly, that they love the idea of getting all the D-list characters from Star Wars and suddenly giving them import.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, they were the most popular action figures in the playground, the D list, because it was very hard to get a Luke Skywalker, very hard to get a Ben Kenobi. It was always these ones that you had no idea what their backstory was, or who they were, or how they sounded, or like Bosk. I remember that. All he could. That's it. That was his line.
Bosk's in the game. Bosk's in it.
Awesome.
You can be Bosk.
There was Bumface and that other dude in the the
Walrus
cantina
Man.
scene, right? Yeah, that guy. I don't like you either. He doesn't like you. Yeah, that guy. There was never a figure of him.
No, I don't think there is. What's his
I
name?
always thought Snaggletooth was him, but Snaggletooth was someone else.
No, Snaggletooth.
Him and Grand Moff Tarkin never got a figure.
There's no Tarkin figure.
Not that I'm aware of. No, certainly not at the time. Maybe subsequently.
I think my
Speaking roles don't have figures, but roles that are like characters that are in the cantina for half a millisecond.
yeah. Hammerhead. That
Hammerhead.
Hammerhead character that gets like half a second screen time. He's got a whole fucking figure. It's like,
And probably a bunch of novelizations.
yeah. Remember when we were part of Star Wars canon, boys?
Yes, I do happily
Oh, we
remember
got
that.
chopped out, didn't we?
We
Yeah.
did. We died.
Oh,
died.
because you were in one of the expanded universe novels.
Yep. Those of you who don't know this story, if you don't know this story, there was a shout out in one of the Star Wars novels. Three characters had to take on aliases, and they took on the aliases Scott, Yon, and Gatesy. It was a little bit of a shout out. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And they were a cleaning team, a cleaning gang.
That was their cover.
Oh, right.
But my name was spelt Gaitzi, which I think is my PSN name. if you wanna
I
look
think
at
it is too.
Yeah, but that's always fun to spell it that way because it feels all Star Warsy.
That said, there is lots of that expanded universe that has slowly been creeping its way into actual canon.
Really?
So there's still time, is what I'm saying.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Maybe we just write our own.
On the topic of games, the only other thing I wanted to talk about is that I have been playing Last of Us 2.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
And speaking of horrors, I mean, I'm a real wimp when it comes to horrors. Like, they really work on me, really do. And this game is, look, I'm not saying I'm really getting scared, but I'm playing it with the lights off and headphones on, and it's a bit freaky.
Yeah.
It's a bit freaky deaky. Anyway, I'm loving it. I don't know. There's this weird level of sort of vitriol online about this game, and I don't want to read any of it because I can't work out whether people, because often when the angriest people have worked out what the ending is and just want to spoil it for as many people as
Don't.
as humanly possible. So I don't know what the beef is, but I'm loving the game.
I've been reading about the beef, I haven't been reading too many of the beefs, but there's been a lot of beefs, beef adjacent articles about why there's so much beef. Yeah. And one of the beefs is not.
Is this going to spoil it?
No, it's not.
Okay, go on.
I only say because I can relate, because it's what turned me off Uncharted, and it also really marred my experience of the Lara Croft game that I played. Yeah, and here's this rounded, beautifully thought through character, multi-dimensional with sort of desires and a backstory and objectives and motivations and all that kind of stuff, and you're supposed to identify with them and oh, by the way, try not to notice they just killed 50 people in the first scene, and that really hurts my enjoyment of games when you're asked to make that sort of leap. And as far as I can tell, that's what they're saying about.
Especially if you bring attention to it, and it's part of the first act. Especially that Lara Croft moment in the reboot where she's arrowing a deer, and it really it's the first kill that you make as a player, and you can tell she's feeling really remorseful. And but then as you say, 15 minutes later she's cutting throats of dudes. So
that always fucking annoys me when people get so angry or upset about animals getting killed in movies and stuff, but not humans. That annoys me.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I don't get it either. Are we heartless?
No, it means we're not psychopaths, because psychopaths connect better with animals than humans. So don't worry about it.
Really?
Thumbs up. You're off the hook.
Yep. Yeah. You got there.
That's a good factoid.
I would count. The only thing I would count. I agree, by the way, Scott, with that assessment. I must admit, it hasn't necessarily wrecked games. It's always just made me, sort of, I guess, go, game logic, But in this particular game, absolutely, I guess that's a thing. But because of the nature of it's essentially The Walking Dead, the game.
Yeah, or if you've seen the film The Road or read that book.
The Road, that's another one that's really felt The Road as well. It's because it's a brutal sort of world where lots of just shitty things are happening everywhere. It feels more likely. People are murdering everyone.
And people are like, I pretty much agree with that complaint, but it does work a little bit more, certainly better than in the Lara Croft one in this game, because people are right on the edge of their humanity, and that's what it's about.
That's sort of
so, but you're right. Like, there have been moments, because I'm playing it too, and there have been moments where it's like, I think I'm getting that mass murderer feeling that Scott likes to talk about.
I think my favourite game where that has worked, or there's no cognitive dissonance, for me anyway, was Far Cry 3, the best of the Far Cries, where you arrive as this young asshole of a guy, just a tourist, just taking advantage of third world country kind of vibe.
He's sort of aimless, isn't he?
You're just an asshole, like a young asshole, like a.
He's like one of the people who bought a ticket to the Fire Festival.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But over the course, as soon as you get, your friends get kidnapped, and there's drug use in the thing that allow you to become a better something. But I love the journey of that character, because you become this killing machine.
Yeah, obviously it can, that can be a compelling story, right? Like I'm thinking of Breaking Bad too. Like someone lose their humanity is compelling.
You don't like yourself at the beginning of the game, but then you start enjoying his journey into madness. It's real good. It's real good.
He finds purpose.
Yeah.
I've got another remote ahead.
Oh, remote ahead, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, you want me to press the thing? I'd love.
I mean, that is your job still,
job.
Poggo, right?
You want to do this?
Motorhead, 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 Motorhead.
Welcome to Stephen Presents Remote Ahead. How are you, Stephen?
Oh, welcome, Andrew. Thanks for having me back. I didn't know it was my segment.
Yeah, well, you were playing the guitar. I assumed.
Oh, so that works. Wait on. Does that mean because Scott did the bumper to Armpit update, it's his
now mine?
What? Did you want that responsibility,
Oh,
Scott?
that'll be the gem in the crown of my slate.
Okay. All right.
Stephen, do you have a guest on Remote Ahead this
I
week?
do have a guest. It's Scott Edgar. Scott McGregor Edgar. Welcome to Remote Ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me, Stephen.
How have you been?
I've been very well, thanks, mate. How have you been?
Pretty good, thanks. How have you been?
Good. What about you?
Oh, great. So what have you
Great.
got for us this week, Scotty?
I have come to talk about my deep and abiding love, which only grows for the work of Mr. Ryan Murphy. We absolutely hammered the second series of The Politician last week, which is just superb. Oh, it's just, the cast are so great in that show. Ben Platt plays the lead ably, but the lead supports are Judith Light and Bette Midler playing a double act, who are just both absolutely fantastic. It's such a great show, so well written, so it's got so much heart. It's and he, as usual, presents this very heightened, very sort of stylized sort of fantasy world, but he's talking about fair income, genuine issues that face us for sure. And yeah, so definitely The Politician. If you haven't seen season 1, do that.
I'm watching that. I'm watching it.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you,
all right.
Scott. We do
welcome.
have Simon Matthew Hall just across the way with a response. Simon?
I was just adding to. I'm watching that show too, and I think Ben Platt is my favourite crier in the world of acting, because
Wow.
when he cries, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like about 3 times as much liquid as anyone else. And it's not just eyes, it's fucking snot. It's disgusting. It's like saliva. He's just a fucking geyser. Human geyser. Gazer. And I'm just pulled in whenever he does that. I believe whatever's going on.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's the character is kind of battling with his own ugliness, and Ben Platt's quite happy to go there too.
Absolutely.
You mean ugliness as a human or ugliness as a...
as a human, as a person, you know. But it's reflected in that performance so beautifully.
Brilliant. I was thinking there should be an app for this kind of thing when people suggest you things, but I remembered that there is an app to write. It's called Notes.
Notepad. Yeah. I've heard about that one.
Notes.
Yeah.
You can use Notes
really
for
good.
this sort of stuff if you like. So The Politician. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, and thank you for the comments from the side there, Simon Hall.
Thanks for having me.
That was Remote Ahead.
Thank you, Stephen. That was Remote Ahead.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Greetings, it is I, Pagan Hood. I have come to deliver the mail. The people of Sherwood Forest knew very fast. Pagan Hood, Pagan Hood, Pagan Hood. Welcome to Pagan Hood's mailbag. I'm Pagan Hood.
Was that an abridged version of the...
It's always been abridged.
It's always been abridged?
You aren't...
It's always been abridged.
Does not recognise the gentleman from Edgar.
Bad person.
The Cantankerist writes, Dear Mr. Pogson and hangers-on, to Season 5, Episode 5 and Gatesy's list of merch apologies. Why can't a tripod mea culpa be a feature every week? They've had a long and wonderful career, but surely there would be things they'd done differently in hindsight, even between themselves. Surely they should take it in turns each week to deliver a tripology. Making trouble.
Wow.
Tripology.
I love it.
So who's first? Who would like to make the
Wow.
tripod?
Oh, no.
I'm really sorry that I suggested and that we then wrote and played a song called You're Just Not As Pretty in the Daytime, Baby.
Do not remember that song.
feel-
I don't
Terrible.
remember that at all.
When was that
Yeah.
one?
I don't know, some years ago.
Oh, that was a
And
pretty good
it
apology.
just wasn't nice
Yeah,
at
but
all.
okay. Let me just specify what this segment is about. It's not about you apologising to essentially the fans.
Oh. Well, suddenly you know what it's about. What happened to organically discovering it, Pogo?
I'm not sure about
Nah,
this
that was never
Pogo
a
guy
thing.
anymore.
So you have to apologise to each other. Like, for instance, Scott, you've
that
almost
seems a bit
certainly
personal.
done Gatesy wrong. Gatesy, you've done me wrong.
Ah.
You see how...
But isn't that sort of more absolution?
No. Well, it can be.
As in,
Okay.
yeah.
All tripologies are absolutions, but not all absolutions are tripologies.
We've lost him. No, wait a minute though. Look at the precedent. It's Gatesy apologising to the fans for not, delivering on the merch.
Change the whole premise on a whim, Pogo, because you want some fucking blood on the floor.
You're asking us to open our hearts to each other on air. We are white males, for God's sake.
Yeah, nothing
We
wrong with
shall
that.
not do that.
I'm stoic as fuck.
I got this little bumper sent to me in the in the Pagan Hood mailbag that I'm not sure if it's going to come up, but I do really want to play it. And here it is.
Brought to you by Tripod Reveals, where one can sit down and let go.
What the fuck is going on? You can't just play anything on this, Pogo.
What just happened
Is
then?
that a pitch for it?
That is Tripod Reveals.
I thought it was relieves then.
I hope, Pogo, this is one of those moments for you that every, artist, creative person, looks upon their works and what those works have spawned and asks themselves, what have I done?
It
I
is
look
true.
forward to when that day comes. Anyway, with Tripod Reveals.
With great power comes great responsibility, isn't that the sort of idea? And in the same with comedy, and we have this. Certainly, there was a couple of years where we kind of had to question what it was we stood for in a way, or what, the audience are laughing at that joke, but do we find that funny, or do we think that's worthwhile?
I think of it.
Or...
A good example of that is the trees are dying.
Oh, yeah.
That one. That
Yeah.
That was like the most surefire joke we sort of ever had.
It's a good joke.
That wasn't the joke, by the way. if you
No,
want
I
to-
know. Sorry, should we sing the song?
No, not over the
But basically the song is like pleading for the plight of trees that are getting ripped down, and trees. All these terrible things happen to them, but the worst thing that happens to them is trees get chained to hippies. And
Pause for laugh at corporates.
And that was always not just corporates, fucking everywhere. Like Woodford, it didn't matter where we did it.
Woodford loved that song.
Yeah, it didn't matter who we did it for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's an
story,
example of one we backed away from.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
So you want the hard laugh, not the easy laugh.
You want
You want the laugh, but you got to be able to go home and go, yeah, did a good job then.
I believed.
They
the
laughed
things
because
said.
they laughed because I mimed taking a shit on the stage. Ah, right. Really?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's easy to punch down.
You're in comedy right here.
But it's not just there's sort of two categories. Well, there's probably heaps, but one of them is like the punching down one, which is what the hippies one probably is. But there's also that thing where within that one where you feel like you're feeding someone you don't agree with, or you're feeding an ideology that you think is fucked or whatever. But then there's also the one where you just go, no, that's too easy. For example, the Oasis one. You go, we could do parodies and we could do songs like that for our whole career, and you could bring in a lot of audiences that way. But it is easy.
That's true.
Is that the only reason we don't do it? I don't know.
No, I think, well, personally, there's always a place for those comedians who want to do parodies and stuff, and some parodies are good, they're fun, but I like...
Parodies can be really funny.
Yeah, totally. But it does annoy me when I read a description about Tripod and it says, yes, they're improvisational parodies and all this sort of stuff. And
Wrong on two counts.
You've never seen Tripod. But yeah, so
terrible
but I like the
advisors.
fact that we when we were trying to discover what comedy was, we moved from parody to our own stuff pretty quickly.
The parody I liked that we did, and this might have even been slightly before your time or exactly when you came on, Gatesy, was Everybody Pervs.
That's Carlos, man.
Sometimes.
I really like that one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
When you're at the beach by yourself.
But we just, early on, we didn't even do parodies. We just did the songs in a stupid, fun way.
Yeah.
They weren't even
could-
parodies.
You could argue that a lot of our, maybe it just becomes a different word, but a lot of our material is parodying a form or, like,
A style.
getting that style and putting it in a different context, which is what a parody is, isn't it? You're getting a thing and you're adding an element that juxtaposes with the original thing.
If you do a thing, and
If you do a
sort of-
thing.
if you amp it up to 10 in order to show how stupid that thing is, but you're just doing it,
Yeah.
and then by doing it, you're showing how stupid it is that satire? Is that what that is? I don't even know.
It's
I
straw
believe-
manning.
Straw manning. What? No.
No, because you get the thing and you overdo it to prove a point about the thing. You go, how fucked is this? By overdoing it.
Don't know.
Well,
I don't know
that-
if I want to get
That's
in a
what you do
straw
when
man
you do it-
rabbit hole with you.
But isn't a straw man argument like you present as repeating a thing back to a person, but you actually completely change the thing to make that thing look fucked. But it's under the guise of this is how you sound. This is how you sound.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Good.
that's what I described.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, I do. When you do a bit like you suggest, Scott, and no one laughs, yes, it's satire. You go,
don't
oh,
get
it's
it.
not comedy anymore. It's more satire, and you can intellectualize it, Ben. And
That's
yeah.
good. That's
Why
my.
that's on the YouTube chat writes, would their version of Sweet Caroline be a parody then?
Nah.
No, not to me.
Nah, I don't think so.
That's just
It's a
us
bit.
trying to do something and then it goes wrong. I think that's just pretty much comedy, which I've heard described as the difference between man's aspirations and his achievements.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Slipping on a banana peel. He aspired to walk down the footpath without slipping. and then, oof. Oh, I just blew out my mic.
So much clearer now. Okay, we're going to move on, guys. Emily Walker writes, hi, Pogo and Tripod. So not the most pressing of questions, but as your Adelaide Fringe show was one of the last I saw before lockdown, this has been playing on my mind. The whole night now seems so surreal for a number of reasons. But for one, do you know why there were feathers falling from the tent ceiling? I just can't seem to fathom a logical explanation for this. Amazing show, by the way. Really can't wait for the next one. Cheers, Emily.
Would anyone like to?
It's the Spiegel tent, darlings.
Yes.
Feathers and glitter are just part of the deal. Coming out of all sorts of places.
And the show that followed us that night was the big Spiegel tent show called Phenomena or something. Phenomena's not bad, actually. Phenomenon.
I went to that show and it had an extraordinary act in it. I enjoyed a lot of it. But one of the acts involved a man with a microphone. Like, imagine you get the microphone on its stand, and instead of setting it up in front of your face, you set it up in front of your penis. And he had some sort of cloth in front of it, so it wasn't, it was classy. And and then he sort of would like swivel his hips and make his dick slap. I am assuming his thigh, maybe his tummy, and it was like, and then he'd have a track playing, and he'd like do all these rhythmic sort of things with the track.
Right.
And the great thing about it, and a lot of these, because it's one thing to just go, oh look, I can do that, and then it's another thing to go, I have the technical proficiency to create a bit of a to create sort of complex rhythms with that. But then it's a third other thing to craft this beautiful sort of journey and escalation. And that's what that act did. So beautifully. And the great thing then is the escalation just juxtaposes so beautifully with when you remember what he's actually doing again. No?
Yeah. Wow. But the finale of that show was the audience get covered in feathers. You know, doesn't it? Doesn't they just release a big feather drop and all feathers?
I think so.
That would have been set up in the afternoon, so little bits were falling during our.
Cleaners have to get onto it.
Yeah. Oh, that storm has just come through, and so yeah, if you can't see my face, it's because I've got no daylight coming through anymore.
And look where I am. Quite the opposite.
Right.
Somewhere bright.
There you go.
Can I say that I've got one more of these, but I've hated this Pagan Hood mailbag. Can I just say anyway?
Why? Because you haven't spoken enough.
No, it's just gross topics, and you got angry about comedy. Anyway,
Well, no, but it's interesting about choices or comedy choices for to get that laugh at all costs kind of thing, because during the course of the song in 20 minutes thing, Pog, your contribution, you changed at the last minute, interestingly enough.
we can talk about that later.
Yeah, well, I'm just seeding it for later. Can we make a note? Get out your notes app again.
Scott Burke writes, "Greetings, Sir Poggo. Unknown if you have time for this during today's cast." He sent it a couple of hours ago. I do have time, but this is for Gatesy, the terribly maligned merch captain. This is from Scotty B, from Scott Burke, who you had.
Yep.
What would you call it? You had disappointed both him and his lovely wife. Probably put pressure on their marriage. Anyway, it's a little poem entitled "The Merch Captain." Here it is.
No.
"'Twas the day before this one, and here at our house my wife was rejoicing. It really was grouse. For a package had come at 1:45. Gatesy Merch Captain had finally come through. Her t-shirt had come all folded and neat. Her May birthday present, a late tripod treat. She's happy, contented. I'm sure this will stay, so no more complaints come the Merch Captain's way. Yes, I'll eat no more shit. I'll just lie really doggo. But I can't speak for those blokes, Scott, Yoni, and Poggo." Thank
Did not see Poggo coming.
No, I know. It was hard.
Thank you, Scott Burke, you bloody legend, and thank you to all who have waited patiently for their packages. There is 2 more to come, and they are the 2 large Tripod versus the Dragon t-shirts, which I cannot find. So those what? Pardon?
Have you sold merch you don't have?
What? it's I think there's
The
a
line's
connection.
breaking
I
up.
think that because the storm's coming through, and the internet's a dodgy thing. Well, this is the thing. I've got to do a stock take and make sure that doesn't happen. But
I've got to do a stock take.
who'd have thought the t-shirts would be so popular? Poggo?
Yeah.
Gatesy Merch Captain. We're all learning.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, Gatesy.
Thanks.
Okay,
Gatesy.
back on track.
Thank you, Scott Burke, and yeah, again, thank you to those those waiting patiently. If you do want a refund, I understand.
Don't seed that.
What?
Seed that. Just string them on forever.
No, it's terrible. But yeah, but we'll do another. Yeah, don't worry, it's all on the notes app.
Okay.
Things to do.
Now, we do have to move on to the main event. I've kept everyone waiting for long enough. Of course, in Season 5, we have our song in 20 minutes. So, we had our winner from Episode 6, which was Simon Yon Hall, and his topic was... what was it? I thought about exercising today. Wasn't that the topic?
Yep.
And we all voted you the winner. Well, I voted you the winner. And just to be clear, and the guys spent the last couple of weeks putting together the song. Now the title has changed. Maybe we don't even need to talk about the title. But do you want to say anything?
Does the topic have to be the title? I never thought that was a thing.
But I think in the past it has been so far.
No.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. Do you want to talk about it before we press play, or we're just pressing play?
I think we should just press play.
Yep.
So here it is, the winner of episode 6 from Yoni.
I thought about exercising today, sizing today, but I'd done some shopping, I'd also done mopping. That can be my exercising today. I thought about doing nice things today, but I'd made them coffee and dropped them all offy. That can be all of my nice things today. I thought about watching telly today, but I'd watched the making of The Mandalorian. Did that count? What amount makes it count? Did that count? How much of this stuff is enough? Did that count? I've never taken the time to properly think about my use of time. I've taken to quiet consideration, athletic dedication, mindful meditation, while sucking the juice out of every second is mine. And with that I'm trying to be a nice guy. But how do I reconcile all my potential with inconsequential but more preferential things I'd rather mention? Does that count? Thinking aloud. Does that count? What amount makes it count? Can I dismount? Exeunt? How much of this stuff is enough? At what point do I shut down this gut full of guff? Do I wait for a gruff voice above to yell cut and rack off in a half? I'm fed up with this fluff. That's enough of this stuff. Did that count? Did that count? Did that count? Oh, did that count? Did that count? Oh, God. Did that count? How much of this stuff did count? Is it enough?
Count yourself lucky at home when you're stuck. Either path of what's right and what's wrong. What's wrong is solo, it's clear that no one should fear the judgment that comes with a song. For every task that requires an ask of our time, mind, and lastly our body so ghastly is more than enough. So stop being so tough on yourself. That's the stuff you're not bad in the buff. And if times get so rough, you could always just lie, and it counts. Yes, it all counts. Yes, it all counts.
Wow.
Yay, Pog.
What an opus.
Yeah, 4-minute masterpieces.
Holy effing moly.
Where does one start?
Where do you start?
Oh my God.
Shall we? Sorry.
Yep. No, you go.
I was just going. We had a meeting after the last song, like a little the tripod, and just talking about maybe front ending the 2 weeks more with this project. So
Yeah.
have more time in the second half rather than it being this massive rush to to get it all
Yeah,
sort
I
of
don't
done.
know. I mean, I think it was a massive rush anyway. We all just jammed more shit in.
Yeah, that's
basically
the
what
thing.
happened?
Yeah. But I think there was from in terms of synthesizing all the ideas, I didn't see a file that Jon had sent in the Dropbox thing, and that was that second, let's call it Act 2, which is the
Where it goes sort of lo-fi, you mean?
well, you might. It's sort of like the song finishes, and then
Yeah.
there's this extra bit that I just thought, well, I couldn't work out where to put it in the song because it seemed to the song, the first act seemed to work
Yeah.
because we were all trying different ideas and maybe another chorus and all that stuff. But I think at the end it was like, But then I found this Jon thing that I fucking thought was awesome. So it kind of in my head it was like, well, this is the drive home, you know, or look, I had another whole higher concept for the way the song could work, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, well, it's kind of like I thought the idea might be to have like a car door sign, like at the end of the first act, and that is like the drive home, and it's like this kind of in a car, and the car crashes at the end of that, and the rest is the afterlife
Oh, wow.
sort of thing. But yeah, maybe just
Draft 2.
yeah. But you, Pogo, when you sent the third act, let's say, the idea was for it to land on the count that Jon doesn't say, that I silenced.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
thought that was going to
does
be...
that count? Does that count yourself lucky that old man? Yeah. And it was such a like that. It just felt too much like this is the next bit that we can't seem to make work in the rest of the song. So I put more of a poetic kind of license with the thunderstruck. And
I thought the Thunderstrike was much better because it
Yeah, it's good.
really helps to sell.
yeah, it subconsciously resets your brain for something else, I think.
Yeah, I went in planning to cut "That's enough of this stuff" since I sort of saw that as the end, as a joke that only is relevant at the end of a song. But then I couldn't be bothered. I can't even. Maybe it's a joke that the song says it's finished and then it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how
Maybe
that's how
the
I see
joke.
it. The song's over. Nah, I'm still preoccupied.
And that is
Yeah.
the challenge still
Yeah.
with the process is that additions are being sent down the line and stuff. But again, if you front end the first act was the front ending. Well, that was like the first week really, and it felt like, oh, that's the song. It's finished now. But then I found this extra Jon bit that I thought, well, maybe that's a nice little epilogue. And then you, Pogo, bring another part to it, which is a third part, which is great.
People need to know that I'm not on the writing of it. Certainly not at the start at all, and nor should I be. And when you sent a demo to me, which was in the second week, and it was essentially the song as it is now without some of Scott's backings and a few other tweaks, but it finished. It included that sort of lo-fi bit there, and then it just finished on the lo-fi bit. And so I hadn't been in any of the discussions at all, and so I heard it, and it still made me laugh because it sort of just stops. But then the instant it stopped, it just popped into my head that there should be angels or gods.
That's great.
And so for the first time ever, because I don't think I've done any song stuff with you guys. It's always just solos.
No,
Yeah, it's all just been
At all.
sax based. Yeah.
We've kind of gone, Pogo, it'd be great in this bracket to do a solo of some kind, and that's essentially all we've ever done.
He dictates every single note that I'm to play.
Okay.
Part two.
So it was good to just be able to send you that again because we front loaded the week, to give that opportunity to you, Pog, to go, well, what do you want to add to that, or what are you thinking? What inspires you?
And
with this bit.
I was just going to sing, but then you guys very specifically requested, can't you just do that God Only Knows vibe with the many part harmonies and so on?
Yeah.
So I ended up sort of forcing that. in
There's
there.
some nice chord changes in that.
Yeah. I was just
Only because you were saying things like, "Oh, I'm not really a songwriter, and I don't really know how to write a melody and all that sort of stuff." But when you were singing it down the line, there's definitely a melody there, and because essentially, let's be honest, we're lazy. I'm lazy. I thought, Pogo, could you do all the work when it comes to this arrangement and stuff? And I was interested to know, because you did such a great job with God Only Knows, I wanted to hear what.
But
what
it makes sense that it's all Pogo. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It does give it some sort of, as I said in one of the emails, the illusion of having a point. Because it does feel like it's an answer to a question. I suppose, maybe.
I mean, that's why I was also trying to, and I initially thought it would just be offering up an idea and then you guys would do with it what you will or chuck it out or whatever. But it did feel to me like there needed to be some close to it. And this is where, Gatesy, you did want to put a pin in shaming me about my first idea.
Would you like to? Would you? I mean, is it worth?
I don't know if it's worth maybe. How do you?
Stitched you up.
I know. I'm just bringing up the lyric sheet here because I can't even remember how I did it.
But
Yeah. So
it made us laugh when you said it down the phone, but made us laugh.
It's still in there, isn't it?
No, it's not in there.
No.
I've removed So what it was for people listening, I wrote a dirty joke at the end of the whole thing, and it was really quite dirty.
Well, because it rhymes with rough and tough and all that.
Yeah, and it's because I was going through trying to, in the same way that I gained inspiration of Yon having all those amazing rhymes in the bridge.
Hang on, I don't know. They're not me. That's not me.
Oh, who wrote all of that?
The
That's
middle
Scott, I
eight was
think.
Gark.
That's Guck, and then Scott did the third part of that first act.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, there's whole areas where it's just like lots of great rhymes. Just.
Thank you, Pogo. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. So I wanted to keep that vibe, so I had to go through and try and work out how many things. So I've got, for every task that requires an ask of our time, mind, and lastly our body, so ghastly is more than enough, so stop being so tough on yourself. That's the stuff, tough, buff, etc.
Wow.
And I came up with another word, a dirty word that rhymes with tough.
Yep.
And I wanted to
Simon.
end with, why don't you just eat a
Right. Rhyming with tough.
Yeah. But then you sing that, and then you finish off the word, and it becomes muffin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah,
Good
that's
old
right.
that. We have a term for that here.
Do
at
we?
Tripod. Yes, Yoni. It's based on your first listening of the Oliver musical, specifically Pick a Pocket or Two. I don't know. We allowed a. Anyway, it's pretty dirty, but go on.
Well, aren't we talking about two different things? Because isn't Pogo doing that thing where you make someone and swear in their mind, and then they...
Well, no, I literally do swear, except I then extend the swear, and it's not a swear word anymore.
Yeah, that's a different thing to the
so
thing
you
I think
say
you're
muff
talking about, Scott.
And right, no, that
Yeah, go and eat a muff.
I thought you were talking about a lyric that was muff and some other thing, but it ends up sounding like muffin. But
No.
All right,
But that's a great phenomenon worth bringing up. What is it called again?
It's called being paid income tax.
Yeah. So there's a line in Oliver, and I'm going to fuck it up. What is the actual line?
It's actually
a pocket
better
or two.
get some untaxed income. You've got to pick a pocket.
Yeah.
Or two.
So it's taxed income, right?
Yeah.
Taxed income. It's brilliant. It's like Sound of Music with the famous, Maria, when the Mother Superior talks to Maria and says,
What is
Maria,
it you
what is
can't
it you
face?
can't face? Yeah. Love that.
So I attempted to put that in. And there are two reasons why I cut it, because that was really the point of talking about this, because you gave me a lecture about how the low-hanging fruit, and then I, like all jokes...
We didn't!
Fascinating. When did this phone call go on? Was this
At Gatesy's house.
Tuesday night at about 10:30.
Oh,
It was.
hilarious.
No. I'm saying that earlier in this episode you've lectured me about low-hanging fruit, and I've said all jokes are great, and then I actually censored myself. So I need to explain what happened. I wrote it. I recorded it partly, and I couldn't work it out, and I couldn't get it to be dirty for a millisecond, and then you realise that it's not dirty.
Yeah.
It was just dirty.
The timing of it. Yeah, it's the
And
timing.
I couldn't get the timing of it right at all. And then I showed my wife, and she was horrified at me. She was like,
Right.
"You've changed."
You've changed. You're not what was on the package,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah, Pogo, that's the seduction of the possible laugh. You know, all your morals fall away.
No, but see, this is the thing is that I like Boromir. I eventually rejected the ring, the laugh, and I.
Like Boromir.
Didn't Boromir get shot? I don't remember him rejecting the ring until he got shot dead.
Yeah. So I took it out, and I just,
Something about the ring.
I took it out, and we ended up with just lie. It was the lie line that I ended up writing.
I lost a lot of respect for you just now when you didn't say like Galadriel.
Like Galadriel. Well,
She's the one that actually said no. Sorry?
he's an elf. I'm a man.
She's an
Yeah.
elf.
What?
I'm a man.
So that can be your album, Pogo. Eat your muffins.
So, but just getting back to the actual final song that's in there, I thought all you did was kept your muff thing in, but you had yourself singing loud or something else over it. Yes, it did count. Yes, it did count or something.
You're not bad in the buff. I
said you look nice in the buff.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, let me.
But I actually think the muff one is better because it's like just go and enjoy life's. Do a nice thing. Enjoy life's fruits. Don't
See,
don't
being...
overthink. Don't overthink life.
I hate being in tripod.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
You got to stay there. The glasses quotient is filled now, so I
Give
can...
pleasure, take pleasure. Don't think too much about who's getting what.
Yeah.
Just live.
No one's getting anything.
Everyone's getting a negative thing. Negative space.
Anyway, that's probably enough dissecting that song. The only thing I wanted at the end there, Gatesy, which you almost certainly either ran out of time or disagree with me. Let's find out which. I wanted the band to come back in on that last couple of bars. So when the tempo comes back in with the yes, it all counts, yes, it all counts. I wanted the band to sort of bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 wow wow. I don't know.
Yeah, I just went, well, yeah, time was probably,
Pogo, tip for you. You can't ask the producer on the day of the fucking thing. I just add the band.
I wrote last night.
Just put the band in.
It was 2 a.m. That was the 2 a.m. 2:09 email.
It was...
Yeah, you can add the band bit again if you like, kind of thing. I was sorry.
I was going to say that was certainly the moment that crystallised my opinion about our attempt at doing more work on it in the first week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, totally. No, it was that was good, and it was far more enjoyable to have more of a conversation back and forth about that stuff. But yeah, I think the night before, it's more. Is there anything that's in there that you can just take away that you just hate or whatever? That was more of a more subtracting, less addition. But also, it's just, I think it ran into the problem, maybe if we added another bit or the band, it was just overstaying its welcome at that point. Maybe
I
there's
also
just
don't
too much
think I'm
song.
the guy who does BVs. They just don't stay in the back.
I have an opinion about those BVs.
Of course.
My feedback about those BVs is I really like the idea, but I think that they sit too near the lead vocal. Like I think if they were up an octave if they were in like falsetto sort of
Well,
thing,
that's kind of what I mean. Like
they would have sit better in the mix. Yes, you do.
Well, like that, not in that sort of way that you and Pogo we're doing all those very pure barbershoppy, very precise pieces of singing. It's just not my kitchen. But the other thing is also, like, I was doing that in my bedroom with my family around, and I probably couldn't sort of stretch out as much as if I had done it here at the studio. Maybe. So a lot of it was like,
Yeah. They weren't attacky. They were slow attacks. So it's and I know the direction or the idea was to maybe put them at the back,
way at the back.
But that's like what I noticed was it just sounds like rhythmically it gets lost in it, and it's sort of just like it's hard to explain.
No, totally.
It's almost like the opposite was probably what I should have done, which is just maybe if we were to do it again to get the ha ha ha, like really attack it, and have it anyway. Maybe. But again, listeners, these are demos, and I think what's great about, and I say that not to diminish the songs, but why I like the process, it's like all the ideas are in there for discussion in the podcast. And if we did them properly at a later date, we'd have more opinions on what stays and what goes or what gets replaced and all that sort of stuff. But for the podcast, I like how the songs are kind of as is.
Yeah, me too.
And we can have these realizations of BVs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still sometimes, depending on the timing of where these ideas come through, where they sit in the process or on the timeline,
For sure. And I also think part of the danger of this process, or maybe it's the joy of it, I don't know, is that when we're working, and there's certainly a discovery about working remotely, you put something in because it's your job to put something in. But it doesn't always need you to put something in.
Sure. No, I'd certainly, I'm on the ground zero with that shit.
The only hasn't happened, and this is absolutely a result of the isolation. There aren't as many just naturally occurring tripod backing vocals and harmony.
It's
like there would be so much more of that going.
But it's hard. I find personally that bit really hard to do remotely.
For sure.
Just because you don't know what it sounds like till you sing together, and like often I've done arrangements. Maybe this is just a fucking cop out, but often I've done arrangements where I've I've recorded myself over myself, 3-part harmony, and gone, guys, this is what I think it should be. Go, and it often doesn't. It's not just about what the notes are. It's where our particular voices do particular things, and it just doesn't necessarily translate. You don't know till you sing it together in the room,
Yeah. And we've done things like, I think with Interstate Angel, you did a pass of BVs.
Yeah.
And then I think, Scott, you were second in there.
Yeah, I just did the other one.
Yeah, the other one. And then I went in there and did a third one. So there is... It's
I think that one's one of the better examples.
Sure.
Do you agree?
Luckily, I think. That was, luck. Or... But yeah, just filling in that, finding your voice in that space. But it is harder. It just takes longer to do that because, it takes longer for me to do that anyway.
Yeah.
To find what the notes are.
The other flip side of all of this is that these songs, at the end of the day, are... they're still tripod songs, but they're quite different to stuff I've heard from you guys probably ever.
I was interested.
Probably a result of just throwing stuff in there and then the others forcing to just run with it rather than there's debate in the room at the time of writing.
Or even that conversation of what's this about, which maybe you don't always have to have, but we would usually have it, in the room, like have a sense of like where we're going with this. I'm kind of interested, I don't think there's as much yet that you would then take and put into our live show. Like,
no.
I don't think.
I don't think so at all.
Any of
and
this
that's what's bloody awesome about this. It's awesome about it. The expectation is not to make people laugh in a room. The expectation is for us to have fun and make things. That's my expectation anyway.
Yeah.
Which is,
speaking of having fun and making things,
Oh, yeah.
My song in 20 minutes. It's a song that I wrote in 20 minutes, and it's my song, and it's a song, and it took 20 minutes to write.
Welcome to Andrew Pogson Presents Song in 20 Minutes.
Hey, well, hang on. Sorry, could you? What's this segment called again?
That's Andrew Pogson Presents.
Yeah, that bit. Have you always been the umbrella corporation of this segment, Andrew Pogson Presents? I just don't remember hearing that.
Simon Yon as Cario, the champ.
Cario the champ.
From last episode.
Okay.
Sorry,
objection is formally noted.
It's there's something wrong with Zoom. Simon Yon Hall as Cario from last episode. You get to go first.
Okay.
Those who are first in the eyes of Pogo.
All right.
What feel are we looking at this week, Yanni?
So this week is Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova, yes. And can you tell me your topic before you get started?
And my topic is I'm over weather.
You're over weather. Well, today is a good day to be over weather.
Oh, man. It certainly is. All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm over weather, I am tired of rain. What is it anyway but vertical wetness? I'm over weather, I am tired of rain. What is it anyway but a fast track to tetanus? Yes, there are steps in between the two, but I'm not taking you through why it's true.
Right.
That's it.
That's the one. That's the song.
First one.
So, wow.
Yep. So, bad luck.
Your silky
Yon element. And the biggest yon element in this one, of course, is vertical wetness. It's
I also think the biggest yon element is the silky command of melody. It's
Oh, that's very kind.
beaut, utterly beaut.
there we go. Simon Hall with a verse. Is there a
What
chorus?
setting on the Casio tone was that?
That was Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova. Interesting. God.
Yeah, I feel like it like, to me, there's an A section and a B section, but it doesn't, like, there's nothing in there that says chorus to me. Like, I think the next thing was probably going to be a chorus, or maybe it would go back to a verse again, but it doesn't quite, it's something. It's some of a song. It's not the sum of a song. In fact, that's what the chorus is.
Nick, excellent work, Johnny.
Thank you. So,
how many settings have you got to go, by the way? Just keeping a running balance.
4 more. We've
Four
got
more?
Samba, Country, 16-beat and 8-beat.
I love 16-beat.
Maybe that's.
Can you just give us a taste of 16-beat? I remember it
16-beat
being
is this.
just a nice, straightforward rock A drum.
8-beat.
It's the history of music in a box.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the 8-beat then?
8-beat. Oh, it's probably half of that, isn't it? This is 8-beat. Hang on. Oh, no, that was 16-beat. That's 16-beat.
Yeah.
But that's very fast. You probably wouldn't do it that
Boom,
fast.
boom, 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 boom,
Probably.
boom. Yeah, it's the real disco stuff. All right. Don't blow it. Don't blow it.
Just
he was about
wrecked
to
all my
start
songs.
He was about to start composing. Couldn't stop himself.
We're going to move on to Scott Edgar. Scott,
Okie dokie.
what was your topic?
My topic was a topic called "What Is There Left to Drill."
What is that?
Ah, that's a good topic.
I shan't preface it. I shall just sing it, and then we'll. All right. So, What is there left to drill out on the chord waiting to play? What is there left to drill? Feel like I've trained every day. My push-ups are pushed and my free throws are thrown, and I've worked like a dog and I've doggedly honed all my skills. I'm bouncing the ball by myself. One day there'll be a game, I'll be prepared. They should be scared. They're gonna know my name. It won't be fair, they won't be spared. Right now I'm out here on the court by myself. Imagine the day when there's somebody else. What a thrill. For now I'll just practice until I get to test out my skills on somebody real. But for now, what is there left to drill?
Beautiful.
Brilliant. Wow.
Lovely.
Thank you.
He fits
Very
a shitload
self-contained.
fits a shitload in 20 minutes, old Scotty, doesn't he?
Are you
does.
suspicious?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just
Should we be?
I'm impressed.
It's very good.
Thank
I
you.
like the two dog bits.
I've worked like a dog and I've doggedly honed all my skills.
like that.
Yeah, I like the rhyme thrown and honed. I'm happy with that one.
Oh yeah, yep. It's a good one.
It's
Yes,
very
this one
good.
comes from, this is about my daughter, really. She's out there shooting her free throws and getting ready for the basketball games to come back again, the community sports to come back.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So there you
great.
go.
Beautiful.
I like the chords in it as well.
Thanks, mate.
Sorry, Jon. It's a front runner for me.
I get it.
I'm fucking calling it now, actually.
You're the best qualified.
You still have to play your song.
No! I don't want to anymore.
Okay, Stephen Gates. Last but not least in the eyes of
It's called Learning the Banjo.
learning the banjo.
Learning the banjo, so you go where I go. We'll take to the streets. In the middle we'll meet and be learning the banjo. Before it's a no-go, they'll shut it down. Folk show, it's done, so don't be a no-show. There isn't much time. Drink with me here if your spirits are fine. We may not agree. If you're not a drinker, there's coffee and tea. One thing I know that bring us together, learning the banjo. So you go where I go, we'll take to the streets. In the middle we'll meet and be learning the banjo. Before it's a no-go, they'll shoot us in slow-mo. So get out your GoPro, learning the banjo. So you go where I go, we're learning the banjo. So you go where I go, faux show.
Faux show.
Faux show.
Do you know what I really like, Gucky?
Mm-hmm.
That the way that song just starts. It just fucking starts.
It's in. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
on.
Fucking in. It's on. It's such
Yeah.
a good start.
Oh, good.
No, I mean I like the rest of it, but it's just like, nah, we're not fucking around. I mean musically as well. I mean obviously the lyrics are just what the topic was, wasn't it? But yeah, beautiful.
I was gonna try to do a Pied Piper scenario at the beginning, but I just ran out of time. I was just,
Well, thank God you
I
did,
just had
because
to-
that's such a good way to start. It's like,
yeah,
100%.
oh, good.
Yeah. Gatesy so effortlessly, and I mean this in the best way, slips into, what is it, late 60s, early 70s sort of folk singing?
Yeah, that's where it took me too.
I caught up with an old schoolmate last night, and in isolation, I've not been really drinking very much, which has surprised me. It hasn't really been interesting to me drinking alone by yourself. I don't know why. But I caught up with him and we had a couple of drinks and it was a love. So I wanted to write a drinking song, no matter what it was, this morning. And yeah, learning the banjo, it just all came out in that 3/4,
And actually, Elias G on the YouTube channel says before a little bit earlier, oh, this sounds like a pub song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the idea.
Nailed
that
it.
was the good.
Nice one.
Nice one, all.
Okay, on the YouTube, now it's time for you to try to sway my opinion of which
How does
person.
this work again? Who votes? What is it again?
Single vote.
How's it work?
I'm the
It's-
single vote.
It's
But
like
I
Lego Masters.
to be influenced by the chat channel.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just use it because I am deeply insecure and I want to be popular, and so I want to make sure that the one that I'm saying is the one that everyone likes. But yeah, that's okay. So they're starting to vote now. That's good. Okay, so we're getting towards the end. We're going to announce the winner in a second. While these are coming through, I wanted to actually show you guys a little bit of fan art. Now, this is terrible podcast.
Awesome.
Terrible
It's all right.
podcast content, because I'm going to show you some visual things now. So if you are listening to the podcast and you haven't jumped on the YouTube channel, you can. If you don't want to watch the YouTube thing, that's all good. Just fast forward toward the end. Check out this.
Would you like to show us and describe what you see while we respond to it or orally?
Sure.
That almost rhymed. That was good. Okay.
So these two pieces of content were from a single listener, from Jesse, who is also a Patreon supporter, and I think they were inspired by the last episode. So let me just do a little share screen here and see what we can do. One moment. What do? I do this, and then I do that.
Are we ready? Let's just get a good.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So do I describe what we're looking at?
I'm just giving audio reactions.
Goodness me.
Ooh. Describe it.
So what we're looking at here is it's a kitchen. It's just Yon behind a island kitchen bench, where he's got a whole bunch of coffee making.
How the fuck do you know how my kitchen looks?
He's got a whole bunch of coffee making supplies, and I believe this one was tied into your winning song. Did that count? Because aren't you saying I'm making coffee or something?
Oh,
mate.
making
Nice.
tea, but that's a tea that I'm making. I've got a little. Is that tea or a sachet of sugar?
I think it's a sachet of
A
sugar.
tea bag. And also, are the eggs? Do they have faces in them?
Eggs. What eggs?
Oh, they're not eggs. They're steam.
Yeah, that's okay.
Does the steam have faces in it,
Oh wow, you're right.
Oh, maybe they do.
or am I just imagining that?
Yeah, I think
Oh
it's-
wow, it's like that 3 Men and a Baby thing where there's someone in the window and there was no one there on set at the time, but
Such
there.
an intensely Yoni response to this piece of art. I'm just going to zoom in on this one tiny little
Yeah.
detail. Anyway, it's an
Like
interesting
let's
detail.
ignore the fact that you've either you can't be sitting down, but you've got really short legs,
that's
really short legs.
Not entirely out of line with reality.
This is a great idea, though, Pogo. Like, if people do art reflecting the Carrio the Champion, the winning song,
Yep.
that's a really great.
Imagine
way.
someone did that.
Imagine if, yeah, exactly. But regularly, Scott.
Oh, like every
regularly.
week, for example.
Like every week.
He has done it every week. I did enjoy it. We haven't acknowledged during the song. Let's come back to this. We during the Did That
Does That
Count
Count?
song.
Yeah.
Scott, you had a drawing of a barber shop Count Dracula from Sesame Street.
the Muppets.
Quite a
yeah.
lovely-
Yeah.
Is it the Muppets or Sesame Street? Whatever. Anyway,
Oh, no, you're right. Sesame Street. Sorry.
a Henson property.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. That was.
We
nice
had
one.
a huge and spirited debate around at Dear Casey Bonetto's house a few visits ago, which was about the matter of, if you're in Sesame Street, are you automatically a Muppet? Like, what makes you a Muppet?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I
And
never.
it got heated.
I would never as a kid describe a puppet or character on Sesame Street as a Muppet. No, would never.
It's complicated.
Interesting.
It's complicated.
But I wouldn't have even realised that they were the same people. Realised that it was a Jim Henson, joint. It's
Yeah,
A Jim Henson joint.
yeah.
a Jim
I
Henson
wouldn't.
joint.
Can I show you this second picture?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
And then
Whose are these?
So who was the first one?
they're both by the same person.
Oh wow! Oh,
Hey!
here he goes.
Low res. I didn't request the high res version. But what we're looking at here was discussed either in the Patreon bonus content that you get if you're a subscriber. It might have even been in the show proper. I actually can't remember. But what it is Gatesy and Scott sitting at the Christmas dinner table, and there's a little turkey Yoni, all freshly baked on the table. This is the album cover for the upcoming album.
So good.
I've
My
really come,
only
I've come
note-
round to this concept.
Here we go.
Ah, finally. Do you get it now? My only note, I have one small note.
Yes.
Gatesy needs to look happier that he's eating me.
No, it's a more realistic take on.
He's down the butt end.
Yeah. And I thought you were going to say your body's not a chicken body. Your body is your body.
But that's what gets me over the line, Gatesy. Like,
Really?
I could not inflict Yoni actually dressed as a plucked chicken with his naked actual body, but photoshopping it onto an actual turkey, I'm there. I'm back.
What about if Yoni, like the Cats movie, Yoni was chicken-sized?
Oh.
You know,
Ah,
he's a
so
naked
like a
body,
little-
but chicken. Yeah, so you're a little
Would
chicken.
that
Yoni.
get you over the line, Scott?
Would that get you over the
No,
line?
I'm backing away from the line at this point.
Interesting. different people.
We'll put the smile on Gatesy's face that we need.
Eyes are. Okay, let me have a quick look through the chat here.
Do keep it coming in. That art.
Yeah,
To go
thank
back on
you.
what you said, Gatesy. Yeah, absolutely. I love to see what people are responding. We also got some interesting cake baking art last week, so we should talk about that next week.
Oh yes, we did actually. I need to show that. I showed it to you guys, I guess privately, but we never put it on the show. We should do that.
Is there a way to put the art in the notes or anything, Pogo? Is that possible to do?
Probably do that, yeah. But then you have to go to your website. That's old school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Can you see? Okay, Jon. I'm trying to drive traffic to our YouTube channel.
Okay, I'll stop.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Always keep your eye on the bucks, Pogo.
Anyway, I'm going to announce this week's winner, and yeah, okay, no, they're in agreement. This week's winner is Scott Edgar.
Very good.
Well
Good
done,
stuff.
Scott Edgar.
Thank
Good
you. This is thank you. I'm pleased. Cool. All right. Well, so I appreciate your choice, everyone. I think you perhaps have overestimated your own appetite for sort of obnoxious waltzes. Sort of two in a row might be too many. Might
Well,
be one too many.
let's make it not obnoxious. That can be our production challenge.
Well,
You can
can
work
I?
out how, in what sense, that is already not obnoxious on the page. Then I'm all ears.
I don't remember being obnoxious. I just remember it being.
I believe that the song that last week, does that count, started off as a waltz, but it went into 6/8. Pretty.
Did it's true?
did.
Not
That is
really a
true.
waltz. I want to go
did happen.
I want to go hard into a waltz this time.
Proper waltz this time.
Cut, yeah. But you know,
I
in a
used-
ballroom setting, you know, like
I
a
used
proper.
to think waltz just meant 3/4 until I played with a real drummer who I said to him, "It's waltz time," and he really went kick. Kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, like the
Like
full,
a German sort of Oktoberfest vibe.
Yeah. Like it doesn't just
Bavarian.
mean 3/4. Yeah.
Smart ass jazz people.
Okay, guys, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you for everyone on the YouTube Live, our Patreon supporters. If you would like to be a Patreon supporter and log on to these YouTube Live chats, because they're having a great old time in the chat there, you can do that by going to patreon.com/perfectlygoodpodcast, become a supporter there. And I think for YouTube chat, every single level gets access to the YouTube. The lowest tier or the highest tier, all are equal in the eyes of Perfectly
Awesome.
Good Podcast.
And let us know if you want another armpit update. If that
Yeah, we've got a great sting. It's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
The packaging's all done.
So that was season 5, episode 7. Perfectly Good podcast. Out. We did it, guys. We did it. Thank you, Patreon. Thank you, City of Melbourne.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. See you tomorrow morning on the MSO website, on the MSO Facebook.
Oh yeah. Get them cross pollinations going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I've discovered I can whistle inward. Didn't know.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
take
it's
that on the
good
road.
because you can actually. It means you never have to breathe. You can just never have to breathe in.
No, okay. We're
Right.
done. Bye.
Hi, Patreoners.
Hi, Patreoners.
Patreon.